Following its inception last year, LIV Golf is set to be the dominant talking point in 2023. Taking a swipe at the established order of the PGA Tour, golfing fans across the world are keeping a watchful eye on the impact of the LIV Tour on the game they love. Join us now as we examine the potentially rocky road ahead for the PGA and LIV Tours. The world's best golfers have historically plied their trade on the PGA, North American, and European circuits. Racking up tournament wins and climbing the world ranking leaderboard was the aspiration of the world's elite. But in June 2022, all that changed. Financed by Saudi Arabian money, the LIV Golf Tour arrived on the scene promising to reinvigorate golf, and was successful in luring away some of the biggest and most celebrated players. LIV Golf offers a change in format with 54 holes over 3 rounds as opposed to 72 holes over 4 rounds. There's a massively reduced field from over 100 players down to just 48 with no cuts, allowing fans to root for their favorite players who will form 12 4-man teams over the course of the 14-event annual schedule. Golf, but louder, is one of their key slogans, and just to make sure the players are listening, a projected prize purse of over $405 million is at stake for the 2023 season. Just ask South African Charles Schwartzel, winner of the inaugural LIV Tour event in June 2022, who pocketed a cool $4.75 million, which was more money than he had made in any year from his 2 decades playing the PGA Tour. LIV Golf is promising exciting, high-stakes shootout golf to satisfy the desires of both players and fans alike. So, what's not to like? Opponents of LIV claim that the venture is a blatant move by the Saudi monarchy to try to cleanse its image through sport and cover over well-documented human rights abuses. By throwing vast amounts of money around, the group are modernizing the sport and creating a brand with a winning formula, but which has questionable moral foundations. We've seen a similar situation in the world of football, or soccer, where struggling Premier League outfit Newcastle United were bought by Saudi investors in 2021, propelling them to be the richest club in world football, valued today in the region of $400 billion. Riding high in this year's Premier League, success is surely just around the corner for the trophy-starved fans, but at what cost? Anyway, bringing it back to golf. With LIV Golf flexing its muscles, the PGA Tour had to do something. Immediately, bans were given to defectors to the LIV Tour, meaning they could no longer play PGA North American Tour events. To kick them while they were down, this meant no access to world ranking points and, in the eyes of many, a fall from grace as they put their own personal desires before the sport as a whole. Irish golfer and LIV Tour player Seamus Power recently told the Independent newspaper that the older generational golfers and those supportive of the traditional PGA Tour must want to punch us due to the vast amount of money being given. The DP World Tour, formerly known as the European Tour, has its own agenda as it prepares for the Dubai Desert Classic at the end of January. A court hearing will be heard in February, which decides whether the DP World Tour can join the PGA in banning players who have signed for LIV. This means household names such as Lee Westwood, Heinrich Stenson, and Ian Poulter may be playing their final events on the DP World Tour. Supporters of the PGA Tour have been trying to put a more positive spin on things. At the end of the 2022 season, the PGA announced a significantly increased average prize purse of $20 million for event winners. They've also added 4 more events to the 2023 calendar, pledging close to an extra $100 million up for grabs. Former Open champion Shane Lowry has declared it to be a pivotal time for golf as the sport reaches new levels of excitement. In what could be a marketing masterclass, Netflix will be premiering its PGA documentary called Full Swing in mid-February. Shot in January 2022, the behind-the-scenes production features a number of players, such as major winner Dustin Johnson and former world number 1 Brooks Koepka, who have since signed on with LIV, along with staunch PGA allies such as current number 1 Rory McIlroy. It promises to reveal much about the brooding sentiment amongst the game's elite. LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman has said that the PGA Tour players should be thanking LIV Golf for making the market more competitive and increasing the benefits for players across the board. He rejects the idea that LIV is a breakaway league, instead suggesting that the idea was built around being inclusive. The golfing civil war that rumbled through 2022 suggests otherwise, with three-time Masters champion Phil Mickelson suggesting the PGA Tour was a dictatorship with its obnoxious greed, opening the door for opportunities elsewhere. When signing on with LIV, he said it would reshape how the PGA Tour operates, a comment labeled egotistical and ignorant by McIlroy and other PGA supporters. Tiger Woods, reportedly once offered in excess of $700 million to join LIV, remains a longtime critic and has joined top players such as McIlroy in calling for Norman to step down and to stop encouraging players to turn their back on the PGA that has served them well. Woods is keen to broker a peace deal between the two parties and feels that there is a window of opportunity for each to put aside the threat of lawsuits and find a resolution. If it's soap opera-style, high-octane entertainment that fans want, then 2023 will be one to watch. The pinnacle golf tournaments, which traditionally boast the best lineups, are the four majors. Debate has been raging over the involvement of LIV Tour players, but it seems that there will not be a blanket ban. All previous winners at Augusta have a lifetime invite to the opening Masters tournament to be held in April. Furthermore, organizers have stated that any player who meets the qualification criteria will be invited to play. There are 5-year exemptions for previous winners for the remaining 3 events: the PGA Championship in May, the US Open in June, and the Open Championship in July. This secures spots for many of the LIV players, including Mickelson, Bryson DeChambeau, and last year's Open Championship winner, Cameron Smith. Smith, who reportedly signed a $100 million deal to join LIV in 2022, also cited the more relaxing schedule of the LIV Tour as appealing. We could have some tasty matchups of friends and foes, loyalists and defectors in the 4 biggest tournaments of the year. But those LIV players who are not previous winners and have seen their world rankings dip could be set to miss out, despite their best efforts on the LIV Tour, which is set to start in Mexico at the end of February. This begs the question that if LIV Golf participants cannot get access to ranking points, then how is that a level playing field for a world best tournament? To become a major champion and claim to be the best, you've got to beat the rest. But if the rest ain't allowed to play, then maybe we have a question mark over the quality of the field. The term champion may have to bear an asterisk alongside it. The greatest team event in golf is the Ryder Cup, which this year takes place in Rome during the months of September and October. The impact of LIV began in the summer of 2022 when Heinrich Stenson was stripped of his European team captaincy after just 127 days following his move to the Saudi-backed group. Fast forward to 2023, and both the USA and European teams will again be offering 6 spots for players with the most points gained from performances at leading events. The final 6 spots will be chosen by the respective team captains. The USA has repeatedly stated that LIV players will be ineligible for selection, but on the European side, things are a little murkier. We are awaiting the legal decision in February on whether the DP World Tour will ban LIV players from its events, which would limit opportunities for players such as Poulter and Westwood to shine. Poulter this week was reported as saying, "I certainly don't expect to get one of these 6 captain's picks." What does that tell you? What is the story there? McIlroy is adamant that they should not feature in the Ryder Cup, whatever the ruling, and feels betrayal from former Ryder Cup teammates for joining an out-of-control Saudi-backed venture. In September, Apple TV reportedly distanced themselves from the tour, calling it too toxic. Coverage was previously restricted to the LIV Golf website, social media feeds, and UK-based network DAZN. But now they have inked a deal with the CW network, providing further opportunity to reach a new audience and grow its brand of golf. It's a controversial business and it pulls no punches. On whichever side you take, it promises to be a tumultuous time for the world's greatest golfers during 2023. What do you think of LIV Golf? Will you be tuning in on CW to watch? Is it better for the game? Are they here to stay? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching. Until next time.